Hi there, Jonathan here, and today we're at Friday, the 14th of November. It's about 20 to 3 in the afternoon. So today I want to talk about the funnel strategy and the new funnel I'm building during the coming week. Talk about how we're going to structure that and why. But first, as usual, on the numbers side of things. So thankfully we did see some recovery out of yesterday's bit of a disaster situation. So we ended up at 559. So obviously not a great day, but could have been an awful lot worse, bearing in mind where it was yesterday afternoon. So the ad spend, yeah, amazingly, even though it sent my ads back into learning yesterday, so obviously still managed to spend all my budget, which is £335, about $441, leaving us a profit of $118. So yeah, that's not what I'd call a good day these days. But anyway, we're happy that we're sort of above the into the profit. At least that's something. Today we're at 195. I say about quarter to 3. So yeah, that's not looking particularly fantastic. But anyway. As usual, we just park that and let's move on. Oh yeah, the other thing is that obviously I was talking about the Google ads yesterday. So my campaign is now in the eligible state. I don't actually have any impressions on it or anything yet. So all still rather nervous about that as to whether that's just going to be a big old waste of money. Or whether it's going to produce results, and I have not got a clue at the moment. But like all those things, no doubt it's going to take some working out. I don't think you can expect a hit or a win early on. I think it's more a case of learning how the system's working, learning where they're actually placing these ads, because it can be across their entire network, across their entire portfolio. So I'm not even sure where they're going to place them. But hopefully we'll start to get a sense of something happening, and then we can learn from there. It's just a question of, we don't know whether this could be, a couple of weeks of spending £60 a day, which ends up with a chunky amount of money and not much result. But hey, we just feel like we've got to try something and see how it all pans out. So let's talk about the funnel. I wish I could get that a little bit bigger so you can see. Okay, maybe that's a little bit better. So what I wanted to talk about is actually how I'm structuring the funnel. So this is something that I'm building. So what I did when I first did the first test on it, all I'd got was this just a single sales page that I ran some quick ads to. We managed to get some sales, got about 10 sales over the course of about 5 days. It wasn't making a profit, but it was about sort of break even. But that's to be expected, because there weren't really any order bumps, there weren't upsells, there weren't the whole thing in place. But now we're going to be building it for real. And doing it all properly. So first, it's like understanding what does this funnel going to look like when it's complete, and it'll probably take me a good few days next week. Probably won't be doing anything over the weekend, but it'll take a good few days to build this. But we know that actually it's worth building, because I say I've done that initial quick test. So I know it's worth carrying on. So let me just walk you through exactly how it's structured. Hopefully it all makes sense. Hopefully get some ideas for yourself, how you might be running yours. So obviously I put here, my main traffic is coming via Facebook and Google, but we'll wait to see whether Google is a good route or not. So basically what it is, all the traffic comes into my landing page here, where it's going straight from cold traffic to this $37 offer. And then there is an add-on order bump, which is basically, it's like a practice package of stuff. So there's two aspects to that. One of it is going to be a practice planner download, and the other thing is basically a sequence of 30 emails that provides sort of daily tips, inspiration, motivation, that type of thing. So it's a little bit of an accountability, but a little bit of sharing new ideas. So I'm going to test that one out as an order bump. I think it does complement this one very well, so hopefully I'll get a good take-up level of that. So the next thing people get to see is an upsell, and the upsell is basically it's the follow-on course from this first one. So again, there's a strong connection between these two things, because obviously if some people, even this is a 6-week program, some people might finish it in 2 weeks. And be keen and ready to jump onto the next thing. So I think this is a good congruent upsell, what I'll be doing just at $37. If they say yes to that, they go down the yes side of the funnel. And the next thing they'll see is the further upsell to the Academy, which is basically access to our entire portfolio of courses. So for $97. So this is like a total, I think there are about 17 courses in there. So it's a huge offer. But, you know, obviously it's at a price point where people on an impulse base might not buy. So people who do decide to buy that, they drop down then straight into the order confirmation, because basically I don't really have anything else to sell them beyond that. But obviously only a small percentage of people will say that. Currently in my existing funnel, I think it's probably about maybe 10% of people who buy this. Maybe it's even lower, actually. Maybe it's more 5%. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's going to be a smaller percentage. So those people who say no to that, I basically have a payment plan, which is a bit more popular. So it spreads that 97 over 3 months. And then for a final piece, let me put myself over here. The final piece is actually, it's a further downsell, which is like this amazing deal of getting the entire program for $47. Now the reason why, obviously, why we dropped that down so low, I mean, that is an incredible offer. I don't offer that anywhere else at all, but it's really just all about trying to maximize that average order value, because obviously being able to get that revenue in upfront as part of this front-end transaction will give me the increased average order value, which opens up the profit on the front-end side of things for me in terms of the overall funnel, which means I can start to scale it faster. So that's why we do, you know, almost like the crazy offer at the end, to see if we can actually just get that bit of extra value from it. So that's that side of the funnel, and obviously at any point they say yes, then they just drop into the order confirmation, and then they'll get emailed access to all the courses. But obviously if they hit this first upsell and they say no, then what I offer them is to give them that upsell product if they sign up for the membership. So the membership, you get a membership trial. So the membership's only $9 a month. It's really low cost, but it does have a very high stick rate, partly because obviously it's very, very affordable at $10. You know, and I may well review that pricing and try at different price points as we progress, but let's see. So whilst I'm not getting so much money up front, because obviously if they don't buy that, I will get the first month's revenue, so it will add an extra $9 onto that average order value. But I say this is more where the longer term sort of revenue comes. So currently I've only got maybe 120, 130 people, something like that in there. But you know, that just brings in a sort of $1,000 a month every month. You know, if I've got 1,000 members, that'd be, you know, 10 grand a month. Whether I can do that or not, I've no idea at this stage. But anyway, I'm going to try that out. I've not tried that before as an offer. But anyway, if people say no to that, because obviously there is a real resistance to people signing up for memberships. You know, people are worried that they won't be able to either get access, or they won't be able to cancel it, or, you know, I think there's you know, genuine concerns and reservations that we all have, you know, about signing up for memberships. So that's why I've just incentivized that so much there. So, but if they say no to that, I say, okay, well, maybe you don't want to sign up for a membership. I understand that. How about we give you everything, give you this first course free, and everything here, just 3 payments of $34. And if they say no to that, then again it drops down to this very lower level. So I mean, obviously that page and that page are the same, this page and this page are the same. So in terms of pages I've got to create, I've got my upsell, my academy upsell, and the downsell. So I've already got this page here. I need to create the bump. So although it looks like more components, there's not so much around it. But obviously there will be email sequences supporting these, like there is on my riffs. There'll be an abandoned cart sequence. There'll be a sequence about trying to ensure people consume this first course, because if they've said no to this and no to this, then obviously I'll be trying to encourage them to make sure that they do use this first course, and then obviously I've got the opportunity to come back and sell them the second course later down the line, and the upsells. So there's probably a number of email automations off the back of this. But this is the basic funnel. So hopefully that all sort of makes sense. And obviously as I build it, I'm going to show you each of these pages as well, so you fully understand how it all pieces together. But this is the plan, and I think it's important that you've already worked that out in your head. What's the sequence? Now, I say anywhere you've got a page is an opportunity to split test. But obviously we know the main area for split testing is the higher up the funnel. So this page, and these two are predominantly where you're doing all your split testing, because that's where you're going to have the most impact in terms of your average order value and your cost per acquisition. Obviously the cost per acquisition is this very first page. Okay, so that's all good. I hope that's all clear. As I say, probably as we're coming to the weekend, I won't really be doing much on the funnel. I obviously will be checking on the Google Ads obsessively to see if there's any movement on that. So hopefully I'll have something to share with you in terms of the movement on that side. And obviously I've got the split test running on the Riff side as well. So yeah, still plenty to just sort of come out of say that marketing weekend we did in Idaho. But this is some component of it, and obviously something I'll be doing also next week is shooting some video ads that are going to be very different, and I look forward to being able to share those with you as well. All right, so I hope you have a great rest of Friday, and I look forward to catching up with you again tomorrow. Bye for now.